suppose. Got a wedgie. Mhm. So 12 weeks. Most of the training's been sleds. We've only drifted away from sleds, and when I say drifted away, I mean we just reduced from 4 sessions to one. Last week, where we did, I believe it was about 76 total sled reps, and all of that was between about um, 10 meters to 30 meters, which it was a lot. It was a lot, but at the end of the day, I got the job done. Um, we got a lot of progress in the sleds. Off the top of my head, the main thing I was focusing on with the sleds was figuring out how to push with my glutes, which I would say I can do that well now. Um, I wouldn't say we can do it perfectly, nowhere near that, but compared to how we were moving before we started doing the sleds, there's a lot more progress in how well I'm able to move, which is obviously really good. Um, I project myself when it comes to projections in the future. I don't really want to talk about PBs because I can say this time, that time, then it doesn't actually happen. We've had this happen to me multiple times before, especially last season. So when it comes to like time projections, from what I've discovered from doing all of these sleds, 70 plus reps on the sled across um, really 10 weeks, actually 8, 9, sorry, if you remove the deload where I didn't do any sleds. It's the fact that when I ran my 699, we did it injured and we couldn't touch that time again. The fastest time we ran after that 699 was like what, 712, I believe. But with where I am now, um, we're at a point. We're at a point where I believe I shouldn't have any difficulties running a 699 again. That should be very doable right now. So I'm happy with that. That's I don't know why this keeps glitching like that. That's good news. I expect to be what do you call it? Running probably like multiple. Hello, Killian D5L. Did you go dogging last night, mate? What? What? Okay. Um, com compared to last season, we should be able to get a lot more 699s out, or really just 6 9 times. That's really the main focus of everything. We want to get some 6 9s. Realistically, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about PB, but realistically, we should be able to PB. The exact number, I'm not really going to talk about because it could be anything. I could run a 6 9, a 6 8, maybe even a 6 7, but I won't know until I get my first race on the track and you see really how big the gap is between where I was last year in January and where I am now, or where I am at the time I do my 60, which is going to be around that time as well. So it really is a mystery in that regard, but the sleds has really done good work for me over the time, where it's to a point where I know I might not be where I want to be, but where I am right now is at a point where I can be happier about the results that I'm gonna give. It's gonna be more competitive than what I was the last time I was competing, where we were giving for an indoors, where I could give you a 7-1 today, then maybe a 7-3 tomorrow, maybe. There's no guarantees on that. Could be a 7-4, though I never did run a 7-4. I'm happy that there's more consistency because last season, whilst I dropped that 6-9, you never got close to it. I never ran like that again because that actually wasn't my main technique. I don't know what was happening on that day, but I don't actually run like that. So when that popped out, it was kind of like it was expected, but I didn't expect the way it did. My technique, because I just competed 2 days before. My technique that time didn't look like we were gonna do a 6-9, though one of the rounds gave us a 7-0 and they robbed it from me. And then 2 days later, we come back and we do the 6-9, so it was like unexpected. I'm listening to something. I'm doing two things at once. I like to hear my surroundings whilst I'm driving right now. I'm trying to, anyway. That's why I say that. This is not connected to anything you guys are doing, so just if you see my headphones looking wonky, they're wonky on purpose. Just pretend like you can't see them. But I know we can give more 6-9s. I feel like the power that I have from last season, multitasking. But from the power that I had from last season wasn't enough to get the job done consistently, but that has changed recently. For example, if I give you guys some of my numbers, let's see. So at some point, I was able to do front squats for 100 kilograms for what, 4 or so reps, which was rather good. Why does this keep happening? That was what I needed to do. Can't believe that. But last season I didn't have the power to pull off a 6-9 in a reasonable condition, which is why we only got it once and then we got injured because of it. Whereas this season, that will be different. I'm much more powerful. Like 100 kilograms for a front squat rather reasonably. My PB for the snatch is 65 kilograms. I believe during the last training block I just had, we was doing 63 reps. And if anyone knows anything about numbers, if you can do 3 reps for something and it's close to the most you've ever done, then for 1 rep you can definitely do more. I've always wanted to do a 70 kilogram snatch and I never have been able to, and this is going to be the opportunity. And now I can hang snatch 60 kilograms, which is impressive. Front door, back door. What? If you do that one more time, unfortunately, you're gonna have to get banned for a bit. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see that though, for my own sanity. Maybe missed my stop, but 60 kilograms front squat. No, sorry, 60 kilograms hang snatch and snatch is impressive. The hang snatch more impressive than the snatch in that regard because like there's less range of motion. I've got to do more work reasonably, or I've got to do more work with less range of motion to get the job done. So obviously it's more impressive. Though there was one issue which I realized, which the programming, I focused on mainly 2 exercises at once, and the way I did it with the Olympic lifts, I had Jeremiah, I had an issue which was clean first or snatch, and I stupidly picked snatch because I'm like, it's the weaker lift, so we should probably just do the snatch first. Not that it was such like a bad thing in that regard, but the weights that I can lift with the snatch is much lighter than what I can with the clean. So with the way I train, where we've got 4 days of training per week, and it was 6 reps, 5, 4, then 3 for each day. having what do you call it? Having the snatch before the clean meant that I improved my technique, which was the focus of it to begin with, but it came at a cost, which was the weights got really light and really easy to move and navigate with. So when it came time for me to um, kind of like finish the training block, I'm ready to compete. I feel like peaked and ready to do my thing, and I'm like, I'm not competing for what do you call it? At the time, another 3 months. I'm not actually I'm not actually competing for another 3 months, I believe. So it was rather early, and I feel like that came at the cost of something because it's weird when you're sharp and you lose your sharpness. It's kind of an annoying thing. Who's winning? You or Speed? Speed will not beat me. He can run. I feel like with Speed, with Speed, people think he's faster than he really is. He runs about an 11.5 at best. At best. And this is based off of what he can do for a 40-yard dash. He's much better accelerating than he is upright. He looks garbage upright. This is based off of a 40-yard dash he's done, like the averages, and they weren't that fast. So I feel like a lot of people have got confused because they haven't seen him lose a race. And whilst that is impressive, he's mostly going up against schmucks. And one of the people he raced against, Noah Lyles, wasn't really trying, so it kind of makes it hard to gauge how good he is compared to like an actual person. But he would not beat me. He would not beat me by 11.4, 11.5. It is what it is. It is what it is. But in regards to my training, forget Speed. Who cares about him? I've been doing a lot of focus on trying to get 6'7", for those of you that don't know. And with my PB of 6.99, which I've only done once and I haven't gone close to since I've trended away from it, means not only do I need to get back into peak shape because I was injured, but I also need to improve by about 0.2. And that is a tall order. That's very difficult to do because that's very difficult to do because with where I injured my hamstrings, they're really, you never really know when you're back. Like when I did my knee in, at least with my knee, I did it so many times and it was such a minor injury relative. I knew when I was ready to do my thing again. So I was like, okay, I know where my knee's healed or mostly healed, so I know I can hit the track, do my best, and call it a day with whatever I run. But that's not really the case with the hamstrings. I've never been here before, and the hamstrings are one of the main movers for speed. So once you injure those, it's kind of difficult. But the main reason the injury came was because I put too much reliance on the hamstrings. I'm trying to, right now in my training, I'm trying to teach my body how to share the load between the entire posterior chain from the foot all the way up to the glutes, so that the hamstrings don't have to bear all of the load like an idiot, and it blows up like it did with the adductors as well, because those blew up first. Then the hamstrings were like, if you're gone, I might as well go too. But I feel like we're back. It's mainly just a frequency thing now. The powers surpassed what was required to get the job done, so it's mainly just frequency, and we're moving, so that's good. But for the 6.7, there's a few things that I've been working on, and one of those is sleds, and there's a few things that I will be working on. I spoke to Dwayne Chambers about what he did to run his 6'4". I think I might have talked about this a bit briefly, but I'm actually going to go into detail today. So I asked him what he did for his 6'4", and he said he did a lot of sleds, weighted jumps, downhill sprints, so over speed, and plyometrics. So we've already done a lot of sleds. I've done so many sleds. The sight of my red sled makes me sick. I'm so glad it's packed away in a suitcase, and I only have to see it like once per week. And I don't even know how much longer that's going to be for, but I do plan to keep doing sleds. They're not going to just end. I'm not going to let them just run away from me, because there's still a lot of issues. I would say glaring issues in my acceleration I want to get rid of. One of them is the fact that when I do my first step, I kind of go up instead of forwards. It's not as bad as I make it sound, where it just seems like I'm straight up. I'm actually going forwards, but I feel like it's mainly just the hip positioning that needs to just go straight forwards, and then the shins need to do some stuff. Some other stuff, like, I don't think I'm attacking. I mean, I'm attacking back, but I don't think I'm driving my knee forwards in the right angle. I kind of feel like I'm sweeping instead of going forwards. A lot of technical stuff I'm throwing, but I've already done the sleds. So next on the chopping block is going to be plyometrics. I've been doing a lot of research recently into the Russian system, looking at how they deal with plyometrics. Because if you don't know, long story short, the Russians are banned from all forms of athletics, and I think they still are to this day. But the reason why people think they're banned is because of the doping and stuff they did. It was partially that, but that was just really just an excuse, I would like to say, because the Russians were just really good when it came to training. They were just ahead of the curve. For example, if you've ever done any form of plyometrics, do you know where that started from? It all came from Russia. Everything we know about plyometrics, it all came from Russia. They did everything. They made all of it. It was initially called the shock system. So plyometrics are powerful. They teach your tendons how to use the force you've developed in the gym at a faster rate, which is amazing, because if you can do the maths behind what that's going to mean, that means that you're going to be able to move faster. So obviously that's a good thing. So I do plyometrics, but I don't think I do enough of them. For example, there's a video of Linford Christie, which I guess is still doing its rounds on the internet, where you have him doing hurdle jumps, double leg and single leg, and he's going over like 8 hurdles, and then he's going off into a run, and then you've got a massive girth, I guess you could say, between each one of the hurdles, massive gap. And you look at that, and I'm just like thinking that's pretty much a whole plyometric session by itself. I don't know if he's going to go sprint after that, but there's a lot of plyometrics that he's doing in that scenario, and it's very intense, high in volume, and it's something that I don't really think I do enough of. Who's asking? What's your name? Fly on the wall. My 200 PB is 21.83. But with how far the gap is between the hurdles and how much space he ends up taking up, I would say he's at least like jumping for about 25 to maybe 35 meters. It's massive. And the training clip does, if you look up on YouTube, Linford Christie plyometrics, it'll be the first video you see. The training clip doesn't actually go into detail on how many sets he does, but I was just stunned by not so much the double-legged hurdle hops. Like that's not that impressive. Like I can do double leg hurdle hops for like 6, 8, even 10 hurdles. It's nothing crazy there. But later on in the video, it drifts to him doing hurdle hops single-legged, and those hurdles are deceivingly high, much higher than you might initially believe. So I'm looking at that, I'm like, if you was to get me to go do hurdles, would I be able to hop over those hurdles as well as he is with the same height that he is? Probably not. So one of the things that I've always believed is plyometrics are important, and plyometrics are the bridge between power from the gym and sprints. I mean, if you do Olympic lifts, that's technically the bridge between like standard strength and stuff. But even still, plyos is what's gonna allow your strength to become 100%. If initially it's like the transfer, I mean, if initially the transfer is maybe, I forgot which one's the horn. If initially the transfer is maybe 60%, then with plyometrics that could very easily rise to like 95. Fly on the wall. That's quick. Do you know Wade Van Niekerk? Not personally, but I do know him. I do know of him. 400-meter world record holder, 43.03. First person to go sub 10, 20, and 44. First person ever to almost break 43. I know the guy. I know the guy. I pay attention to him. He's actually my favorite 400 athlete even now. I'm really gutted by the fact that he's not at his peak, because I would have loved to see that. But I'm glad to see that he's getting back. Like, I remember he ran his first 45 in however many years. At Paris, was it Paris? No, it wasn't Paris. It was Tokyo Olympics, and then at Paris, I don't even know if he was there, but I know at the Tokyo Champs, he ran the fastest relay split for the 400. I know the guy. Yeah, I hope so. I hope the redemption's coming, because with what happened with the whole I think it was rugby. It was kind of sad. This is why I really like it when professionals go to other sports, especially like full contact sports like rugby, is because if you get injured, then it kind of ruins you. I'm really interested like how much money he's probably lost in sponsorships because he went to where am I going? Because he did that rugby match, which is kind of sad. But as long as he's coming back, I'm happy. As long as I get to see some peak Wade Van Niekerk, I'm gonna tune in for that. Like, if I know he's in shape to challenge the record, I'm actually going to buy my first ticket to whatever championships he's at, if I'm not personally competing myself, just so I can see this, even if it's just a chance, because I want to see this in person. But I forgot what I was actually saying. I really love Wade. It's very interesting. Plyos, that was it. Plyos. My expectation is to get all my power transferred over. I don't think I have fully actually got the power to transfer and return in the way it's supposed to. So there's still some work to do. AXWWG, hi, how's your day? It's kind of long, but that's the best type of day, isn't it? Because that means you get more time alive. More Force 95. I don't know if I say your name right. Hello. But if you've ever seen some elite athletes, specifically in track, who just maybe they can't jump high, but they've just got hops. They do too much plyometrics. That's a good thing. Plyos is like the only way you can get steroid level gains without having to take steroids. It's that good. So I'm planning to take it more seriously, because if this is what all the elite athletes are doing, this is what Dwayne Chambers did to help him get his 6'4", then obviously I'm going to want to do some more of that. And I plan to make it so that I actually have a single session purely dedicated to just doing plyometrics, which would be nice. Because then I have the breathing room to make a training session really thick with volume from plyos without having to say, well, I've got to go sprint afterwards, so I can't really do that. Ava Perry Z4C, are you British? No, I'm from America. Of course I'm British. What? But yeah, I want to do some more plyos, because if I get some more plyos in, transfer will be great. I plan to take plyos more seriously, so I don't think I have enough. So if I do it about as aggressively as I've done the gym stuff recently, where like if you're gonna see my videos, but I've made crazy amount of progress in the gym. It's kind of stalled a bit because of how I've organized it and trying to keep the volume low, but I made crazy amount of progress in the gym right now. So if I can do something similar with plyometrics, which I've already been doing, but I want to get more aggressive with, then who knows what I'm going to do. I would project myself currently still as a 6'9" guy, but I feel like if my projections are correct and I'm a 6'9" guy who can consistently give you a 6'9" whenever, wherever, then plyos is probably going to be the source that's going to allow me to give a 6'8" as soon as possible, which would obviously be nice. And then we got weighted plyos, weighted jumps, and downhill sprints, overspeed. I don't know exactly how I'm going to organize the downhill sprints. Weighted jumps, that's easy. I've got a weighted vest in one of my wardrobes. So there's no difficulty getting that one organized, but we're moving forwards. We're progressing out. I'm going to say we're progressing rather well. So I can be happy with the results. I just really, really wish I had a competition to check. But I also understand that we're not competing for a reason. I made my own schedule, obviously. So if I'm not competing, it's because I decided not to. I'm not going to do what I did last season, where if there was a meet, I was going there. You couldn't avoid me. If you competed in London, even if you didn't compete in London, I could still be there. If it was a competition, I was probably paid. I probably paid and I was probably there. So I don't want to do that this time. I want to make sure that all the competitions that I go because I need to go to them, not because I want to do some testing or whatever. Do that at home, home track, wherever. That's what the testing's for. I got a free lap. I've got a phone if I don't want to use my free lap, or for some reason, like right now, the battery's dead, so I've got to find a way to replace the battery and find my batteries. I think I lost them. Then there's ways to deal with this. So we're really just being patient. For the 5 people in the stream, I'll let you guys know as well. I'm competing. Yeah, I might as well just say it. So people want me to do a 400. And I was supposed to do a 400 last season, but it didn't go well. I don't actually remember why we didn't do a 400, but something happened, which resulted in me not being able to do the 4. So this season, I made it so, as promised, you're getting your 400. And the 400 will be at the London Indoor Games, which is in January, the 18th of January. So you can expect, if you check the live streams, I'm pretty sure the live stream, you can see me doing the 400 in like the slowest heat because my PB is 55. But yeah, you can see me, and let's see if we break 55. I mean, I shouldn't have any difficulties breaking 55 in all honesty, but let's see if we can do it. Can we break 55? I expect so. So let's go do it. But my real goal for the 400 isn't a 55. It's that's a top secret actually. That's a top secret. I'm not gonna say what my goal is for the 400. I'm not gonna say why that's my goal for the 400 either. I'm gonna leave that for the video. But I will say, when it comes to 60, you're gonna have to wait until February. And with how I've organized these videos, chances are, if you want to see it in a video format, you're probably gonna have to wait until March, maybe even April actually. But you have to wait a while. So I suggest like Power of 10, take a look. But with how far away we are, I can't accurately give projections of what I'm expecting to run in the 60. All I know is I shouldn't have any difficulties running a 7 flat. I should be able to run a 6'9". Not comfortably, but it should be doable. I shouldn't have any crazy worries running a 6'9". So that's nice. I guess we can look at the 200 briefly though, and I'll explain why. So with my training, there is absolutely no speed endurance work whatsoever. I've got an lactic capacity session which can sort of double as a speed endurance. It does boost my fitness, and a lot more than what might initially be believed. But there's no speed endurance work. So when it comes to 200, it is a mystery as to what I'm going to put down on the track. I want to run. I believe it's 21.8 indoors, which very optimistic, I guess you could say, considering the fact that my outdoor PB is 21.8. So yeah, we're asking for a lot here, and hopefully I made a big enough improvement in my acceleration, because that's really the weakest part to pull that off. With the 200, I've been paying a bit more attention to the initial 50 or so meters. Reason being is with the initial 50 meters, I'm not aggressive, and that's bad, because me not being aggressive means when I'm running the 200, when you see a fast time from me, it comes purely from how good I am upright. It's not specifically that I'm like, that's my time, that's what I should be running or anything. I'm really good upright, but not so much good driving. And that might seem weird considering the fact that my PB in the 60 is a 699, but that time never translated, ever translated in the 200. So when it comes to the 200, we need to make sure that's the case. It might have translated once, and that might have been like the one time I ran the 21. But I was injured then, so it probably didn't even translate fully. That might have been like a 7.1 acceleration from me. It probably wasn't anything crazy. And that's just facts. So if I want to run a 21.8 indoors, we're going to need to drop probably a time matching my PB for the first 60 meters, which, with how much I've improved, it actually should be doable, even with the bend, even with the fact that there's two handicaps. The first handicap is the fact that I'm on a bend. The second handicap is the fact that I'm indoors, so that track is banked and all that other garbage. So it should be harder for me to run and match my 200, but I don't think that's going to stop me. Like, when has that ever stopped me? I bet I could do it. So those are the circumstances. And when it comes to indoors, I'm mainly focusing on a 60 for once. Usually I spread my focus to different areas. Like, we're looking at the 60, we're looking at the 200, so we could be anywhere. I'm really just focused on the 60 right now. So if we get that done, it's probably going to come down to pure aggression, and then praying to the fact that when we're running the 200, I've still got, I don't know when I was there, I've still got the same level of fitness that I did last year, where like you put a 200 in my face, I'm going to give you a 22 flat no matter what. You can't stop me. I'm just it's just what I do. So we're relying on hopes and dreams essentially, and then the fact that we've done the work in my weakest part of the race. So that's what we're looking with right now. But again, this stuff is so far from, why is there a cone in the street? This stuff is so far from where I am right now. It's not really something that I want to focus on. I will get my answers to all of this in February. That's when we're going to be dropping my 60, my 200. Before then, all I can say is I've been putting in the work that I think I need to... When? How? What? I've been putting in the work that I think I need to get the job done, and all I need to do now is wait, keep training, keep improving, figure some stuff out, and then get the job done. when it comes to technical things that I want to focus on, I've already glossed over it a bit, but I really do want to pay more attention to what my knee's doing. Like how I'm punching forwards. I can punch back, but how am I punching forwards? It's not very good. So if we can get that sorted, that'd be nice. The drive back's all right. What else? And when I'm talking about this, I'm only just looking at like the first 3 steps. After that, we're quite cool, but I do have a decent amount of airtime that needs to be removed. So my fastest of late 20-meter fly. This isn't a pure 20-meter fly. This is 20 to 40 is about 2.1. I think it's. I actually don't know the numbers, but I know it's a 2.1. I did like. I think I did 3 20 flies and maybe 4. All of them were 2.1s, ranging from like I think it was like mid. So what we'll say is like 2.15, which is not good. Not good at all. Whenever I look at my flies from training reps, I always cry because it always projects me at like a 7.3. I don't know why, but I'm always projected like a 7.3 in any form of fly or any form of rep with a free lap, which is why I kind of hate free laps at times. I never run fast with the free lap, so I just go off the numbers and try and beat those. But 2.1 trash, decent enough. What can you do? I need to get that to sub 2 for the 6.7 that I'm after. So a lot of work to deal with, and that mainly comes down to technique. We're too high. If I can stay lower to the ground and get my foot back down, that would be a good thing. And those are the type of stuff that I'm working on currently at Speedworks. We're trying to deal with that and a few other stuff. So I think I've done 2 Speedwork sessions. I think I've been given 7 things to work on. Of those 7 things, I can do 3 of them. So the first session I was given 5 stuff to fix, fixed 2.5, you could say. There's a third one that I've fixed, or that I won't count as fixing. We'll just say we've done 2.5. So the last few things to fix, it comes down to my feet, which I've been doing a lot of focus on trying to get strong. Fascia issues from the foot up to the glute need to be addressed, and fixing those is like the name of the game, really. If I can get that done, then the last few issues that I have will go, and then if they go, we're flying. Like, we're seeing some good stuff, and it just comes down to fixing some of the more recent stuff that I've messed up on and getting those right. So training is really hard because things don't always progress in a straight line. So when they do progress in a straight line, it's kind of like what's going on. Like right now, things are going very linearly, which is odd because usually I do my training around making it as linear as possible, the results that I achieve, but it never is. Like, we'll drop a nice fast time and then we won't touch it again. So that's what linear means to me. But for the first time, things are actually going linear. We don't have any times to measure this off of, so that could be wrong. Maybe things are going exactly how they always do, but it is nice to know that we are making progress, and it's a lot more progress than I should be expecting to be making at this time, and this is boding rather well. So I feel like if we can get the plyos good, we could get some nice results out of me on the track, indoors and outdoors, even if I get injured, which I don't plan to. But you can get some nice results, and that's all I really care about, you know. Do I want to go British champs? Yeah. but I also want to go to meets where I'm welcomed, where I'm wanted. And let's say I run 685. Can I get 2 rounds at British champs with 685? Potentially. It's risky though. It's risky. I rather. That's why part of the reason I want to run 6'7", because if I run that time, I know, okay, with what I have, I'm guaranteed 2 rounds, and I should be in the finals. I could be a finalist at the biggest level meet in my country. That is not an international level meet. I'd be like, that's cool, right? So we're pushing for that. It's gonna take some time though, because like I'm pretty much a 7 flat guy. Like, let's be honest. If even that, barely. So there's still a lot of work to do, because running a 6'7" isn't good enough. If it's done once, we need to be able to crank it out pretty much whenever. And if that's not doable, then you still got some work that needs to be achieved before we can say, okay, I'm as good as I think I am. Because I need the 60 time to translate. If I can only do it once, one and done, then that's kind of useless to me, because it's like, if I want to be running this time in the 100 or that time in the 200, or I'm saying I want to be able to do, I want to run this time in the 60 specifically, if I can't do it on a repeat, then maybe I need to go 10 per second faster, 6'6", and like, I'll be honest, 6'7" is already a stretch, it's already a reach. 6'8", doable. 6'7", is like everything needs to go perfect and some. And you're telling me that now I need to go even further? It doesn't really sound that nice. So, a lot of stuff that needs to be done. Not much time to do it. And a lot of focus to be done to get that. Perfection is tough, because it doesn't allow for any mistakes. So, we got, I don't even know what we got to do, really. Sometimes it's puzzling, because I'm just lost. I've never been here before, and I like to do stuff for myself and do some extra stuff, and it's like, what extra stuff can I do that's going to allow me to get the results I'm trying to chase? Usually, in regards to stuff like this, less is more, and I take that, I really do, but I feel like I've done so little at times where I really need some more. Like, if I show you some of my sessions, for example, I can give you an example. I had a session on Monday. It was flies. It was 4 times 20-meter flies. I did 3. No, 4 times 10-meter flies. I did 3, and it only has a 20-meter build-up. So the session is not thick at all. It's tiny. So when it comes to like getting the stuff done, it all comes down to like technicalities, cleaning stuff up so we can move well, and there's just not much time for any of that. So I've really just got to do what I do, and hope that it's enough. Hope that my body's learning, my CNS is adapting, neurally we're doing things better. I'm just saying words right now, but yeah, we're just trying to make sure that neurally we can move better than we could before. And with just 4 reps and 3 currently, it's like, is that enough to improve? Even if you've got 4 sessions, more sessions than most people, but kind of watered down quality wise, quantity wise, so the quality can go up. Is that enough? Can I get the results that we need? That's up to discretion, really, but just got to really just keep pushing, really believe, understand, vow, keep doing what I do. But yeah, next on the chopping block is going to be pliers. When you see the pliers in the training, you're going to be like, wow, those are a lot. That's really thick, essentially, because I'm not going to go easy. You can do a lot, and hopefully we can get the results that we need when we need them. And maybe that's not when I think that they are, so we're just going to see what happens in the end. I'm excited. But it's a big jump. It's a big jump. So we just got to leave no stone unturned. Focus heavily on quality. over quantity, and just really hope that when it comes time to do my 60s and my ones and my twos, we do run what I've been training for. And which realistically isn't a specific time, it's just a PB. That's what we're really running for. If I got a PB to 60, I'd be so happy. When considering the circumstances of how I got my 60 PB recently. So stuff like that, but it's got to put in the work. For everyone else watching, put in the work as well. Like, this isn't my journey, this is our journey. It's just you against you, me against me. So we just got to keep pushing, and eventually we'll end up wherever we're trying to get. Just don't give up. This sport is difficult for no reason, but don't give up. We'll get there in the end. Just got to believe that you're training, and whoever's training you can get the job done. That's why I'm with Speedworks at the moment, believing that it's gonna get done. And that's it, really. That is it. That is it. I'll see you guys in a video on Sunday with me doing 200s. So enjoy.